and welcome to Sammy's Bookshelf. I'm Sammy, and welcome to week 1 of the Orilium Readathon. So as you can see, I am doing a reading vlog for this readathon and I'm very excited. So it is the 1st of April today. So the readathon has officially already begun. And like usual with these readathons, I have not yet read anything. Woo! But that will change soon. So if you watched last week's video, you'll notice that my outfit is the same because I just finished filming my TBR for the Orilium Readathon and also my TBR for my Cluedo TBR game, which that was the most convoluted video I've ever filmed. So this is my TBR for this month, and this includes all the books that will tick off all the prompts for Orilium. So it's not too bad, but I am in a reading slump, so it is quite ambitious for someone in a reading slump, to be honest. But I think I can do it. So if you're a fellow Orilium person, I am in the Mindwalkers Guild and my calling is a dream walker. So I am taking 7 classes in the Spring Equinox. So I'm reading 7 books for this readathon this month. And so the prompts that I am doing are book featuring romance, book with a trope you like, top of your to be read list, source of light on the cover, short stories / essays, mythology inspired, and books set in the future. If you want to see more in depth of all the books I'm reading for each prompt, watch last week's video. You can just watch like the ending where I do the Orilium TBR. But I am trying to be quick right now because I actually have some place I need to go. So I'm going to try and talk through this quickly. Like I said, I haven't read anything yet for this readathon and I'm not going to be able to still for quite a couple of hours. But the book that I'm going to start off this readathon with is the Lost Book of the White. I'm doing a big Cassandra Clare reread where I'm reading a Cassandra Clare book at the beginning of every month, and so it's April 1st, so it's time to read another Cassandra Clare book. So the first book I'm reading for this TBR is The Lost Book of the White, which is going to fulfill the prompt, read a book at the top of your to be read list. But again, like I said, I'm not going to be able to read this still for quite a couple of hours because it's a very exciting day today. I am going over to my sister's house because her dog, Snickers, is going to meet my dogs, Luna and Pluto, for the first time. And we're also going to go there and have dinner and stuff. So I'm going to be there for quite a while tonight. So I'm not going to get to start reading the Lost Book of the White till I get back. And it'll probably be quite late by then. So I'm probably not going to start reading this till like 10:30, 11ish. So I don't know how much of this book I'm going to get through. Hopefully I'll get through maybe 100 pages or so. I think that would be a good start. So that's the plan for today. Okay, so I am now ready to go to my sister's. I just had to put some actual pants on because fun fact, whenever I film YouTube videos, I usually wear a nice top and then I keep on my pajama bottoms. But I thought as I am still waiting for my father to come home from work so we can go to my sister's, I thought I would talk a little bit more about Orilium. So Orilium is a readathon hosted and created by Book Roasts. It is like a role-playing readathon where Book Roasts has created this whole fantastical world where pretty much your character are going to this magic school named Orilium, and depending on what your calling is, which is your future career in this mythical world, it depends on what classes you take at Orilium, and each class has a reading prompt, and so to pass each class you have to read all the books that fulfill the prompts. And how well you do now in the Spring Equinox is how well you do in the Autumn Equinox, which takes place I think in autumn. And there are also 4 different guilds, so there's a quiz that you can take to determine which guild you are in, and with every book that you read, and also there are also special side quests, you can earn points for your guild. I'm kind of a competitive person, so I want to try and read as many books as possible so that my guild can win the readathon. This is actually my first Orilium readathon. I discovered this readathon last year when they were doing the Novice Path readathon. It was like the prequel prequel readathon to this readathon, where you have to journey to the Magic University. But I discovered the readathon after it had already ended, so I was a bit late. And then there was also a shorter readathon, a week-long readathon called the Gear Up readathon or something like that. But it was the week that I had all my exams and assignments due for real university, so I couldn't participate in that. So now I can finally participate in the Spring Equinox readathon. Thank goodness. I'm very excited because this readathon just seems like so much fun and so creative, and so I'm hoping I can do a good job. And that is my little dog growling. Are you excited to meet a new friend? Are you excited to meet a new friend? I'm trying to decide if I should bring my book with me, even though I know that I'm not going to read it. Luna is... Oh, Pluto, will you stop crying? Luna has gone in to meet her cousin by herself, and then we'll bring Pluto in afterwards. Pluto is very confused as to why Luna has gone in the house and he has not, which is why he is crying. Pluto, stop crying! I think Luna's going to be surprised to meet a dog that's smaller than her, because usually she's the baby, but not today. And Pluto is still crying. So we're going to stay in here for a couple minutes and then we'll bring Pluto in to not overwhelm Snickers.
Ooh, two doggies.
Hello, Snickers! Hello! Hello, Snickers! Snickers wants to play.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. See what happens.
Which nursery rhyme character could be put together by all the Kingsmen? Correct. In computing, VLAB stands for Virtual Local Area.
Oh!
Network. Oh, who's that? Snickers.
Pluto's alright. I hope he doesn't do a dirty pee.
Yum.
Yeah, he did. Oh my god, like, it's so weird being a bigger dog, even though they're not even bigger dogs.
I know, imagine like Snickers compared to Millie.
It's weird, isn't it? Ends up being on the receiving end of that.
Oh, let's go.
No.
I'm really
Gentle.
there is a lot of
2 hours later.
kick in. Just too aggressive in Melbourne zone. Who is he targeting now? There's no one really on through the middle.
And it was only a girly slap.
See how much time. A few seconds to go. There's the target. There's that
Yeah, still slap somebody.
Where's Luna?
She's
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Hello, so I just got back from Michelle's. As you saw, the puppies had a really fun time. I should have filmed them when they were actually playing after they had like gotten to know each other a bit better, but I forgot because I was having too much fun watching them play. But as you saw, at the end of the night, they were all fast asleep. They all tucked each other out, but they're all good friends now, so that's great. So as you can see, I am home now and it's time to start the Lost Book of the White. I'm super excited to start this because this is actually one that I haven't read. I had never read the Eldest Curses series before, and so when I did this reread, I decided to read them in chronological order as I was reading the rest of the books. And so yeah, this is one that I haven't read yet. This is also going to be my last book that's part of my big Cassandra Clare reread, because I'm not going to go ahead and read the Dark Artificers series because I only read those a year ago. I still remember them pretty well. This book has all the Mortal Instruments Instruments crew in it from what I've heard, and so I'm just so ready for the fun banter between everyone. And I also just can't wait to see, you know, more Magnus Bane, more Alec Lightwood. You can't really get enough Malik in your life, can you? I think it's about 9:30 right now, so I'll probably read till I go to bed, so I should be able to get a bit of good reading done, I reckon. I'm hoping to maybe read at least 100 to 150 pages tonight. Sorry if you hear my dogs. They just had dinner, so they have the little post-dinner burst of energy, so they're like running in and out of the house through their little doggy door right now. But I'm hoping to read at least 100 to 150 pages of this. I think that'll be a good start on the book. If I can read more, I will. I'm hoping that maybe I can finish this tomorrow. If I can get it done like the second day of the readathon, that would be pretty good, but I do have to edit for most of the day tomorrow, so I'm not sure how much I'm gonna get to read tomorrow, but we'll see. So let's get to reading. Orilium Book 1. It is now about 2:15. I've been reading for a couple of hours. I did end up taking a bit of a break from reading after reading just the prologue because I ended up editing what I filmed of this reading vlog because I just felt like it, and reading vlogs always are much easier to edit if you kind of do it as you go, I've discovered. So I kind of missed out on like an hour and a half of reading because I was editing that, but I did manage to get to page 80 of The Lost Book of the White. I'm really enjoying this so far. The banter is immaculate. I love seeing the whole Mortal Instruments crew in this book. It is just great. I didn't quite get to how many pages I wanted to read. I originally wanted to read to at least page 100, and if I hadn't spent that hour and a half editing, I definitely would have made it to 100 pages, but it's like 2:15 a.m. right now and I'm really tired. I can tell as I'm reading that like the words aren't quite computing, and so I've decided that 80 pages is close enough to 100 that I'm okay to kind of leave it there for the night. But I am really enjoying this. I think reading this book as I'm kind of trying to get out of this little reading slump I'm in was a good decision, because if anyone can get me out of a reading slump, it's Cassandra Clare and her great funny bantery dialogue. But I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish this tomorrow like I was kind of discussing that maybe I could, just looking at like where I'm at now and how much of the book I have left. But I think I can definitely finish it on Sunday, which I think in a month-long readathon, finishing my first book on day 3 of the readathon is pretty good, so I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna go to sleep now and I will see you tomorrow. Good night. p.m. on Saturday night. I have not read anything yet because I have been editing my video that I filmed yesterday all day, and I think I mentioned yesterday that the video I filmed was very convoluted because I filmed my March TBR, my Cluedo TBR game, and then also my Orilium TBR all in one video, and it is just as convoluted to edit it as it was to film it, and I've literally edited like 13 minutes of the video, and I feel like I haven't made a dent because I still have like over an hour of footage to edit. And I think a lot of that is like when I'm picking out books and thinking about what book will fit the prompt, I like leave the camera recording. So I think most of it is that, so that's gonna be pretty easy to just like cut out. But I got to a point where I was doing my March TBR, and there's a bit where I have like a spinning wheel, but I do it digitally, so I overlay the spinning wheel, a screen recording of it, onto the video, and the screen recording of the spinning wheel is gone, even though I remember saving it. I don't know where it went, and so I got to that point in the video and it was like 5:30, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done for the day. I want to start reading soon anyway, so I have a lot to edit tomorrow. My video might even be up a little late, but oh well. So, like I said, I have still yet to read any more of The Lost Book of the White. I'm still up to where I was yesterday, which was page 80, but probably in like an hour or so, I'm going to continue reading this and hopefully make a big dent. I don't think I'll finish it. So that is the plan. I guess I will update you after I've done a bit of reading, probably. I'll see you then. So it is currently 2 a.m. and I have been reading for quite a while, and I just got to page, what page am I up to? 189, and originally I was going to stop there and go to sleep. I'm halfway through the book now, but something I did not account for was the fact that daylight savings ends today, and so all the clocks just went back an hour. So I thought it was 3 a.m. When I finished reading that last chapter, I went to go look at the time, expecting it to be 3 a.m. because like the last time I looked at the clock, it was like 2:30 a.m. but it was only 2 a.m. And so now I'm thinking I might just stay up a little bit longer and read a couple more chapters. Probably not too much. I'll probably read maybe 1 or 2 chapters because I am getting pretty tired. I get an extra hour in this readathon right now. I feel like I should use the time to read. So that's the plan. It is now Monday. I didn't film anything yesterday on Sunday because nothing very eventful happened. I didn't manage to finish The Lost Book of the White last night like I wanted to, but I did manage to finish it today. A couple of hours ago, I completed The Lost Book of the White. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I just love this world and these characters so much. Shadowhunter Chronicles are just like my comfort reads, so it was the perfect book to kick off this readathon, especially with me being in a slump, to read a book that just feels like coming home. And for this readathon, there's a Google Forms thingy that you can complete so you can submit your books, and it goes onto this really cool Excel spreadsheet so you can see what everyone has read. And so I just did that. It's actually crazy how many books have already been read for this readathon. Let me show you. Look at all this. Look! Like, these are all the books people have already read for this readathon. Look, that one's mine just there. The Lost Book of the White. But like, that's crazy. It's only the 4th day of the readathon, and this is how many books have already been read. That's crazy. I have finished my first book for Orilium, and also just a reminder that this book was for the astronomy class and it fulfilled the prompt, read a book at the top of your to be read list. Now, I do also have other exciting news. Orilium has side quests which you can complete that earn you guild reputation points, and the more guild reputation points you have, you get perks that make the readathon, you know, a bit easier. And so I really want to get gain some guild reputation points. And before today, I hadn't been able to claim any of the side quests because they kept coming out at like 5 a.m, 6 a.m. my time, or I was fast asleep. And on those quests, there was only a limited amount of people that are allowed to claim it. And so by the time I woke up and actually saw the quests, they were all claimed. But this morning, there were more quests that came out at 6 a.m, but they were quests that had an unlimited amount of people who could claim it. And so I have claimed 2 of the 3 quests that were announced this morning. So for one of the quests, the prompt was to read a book with a new to you author. And so for this, I have chosen Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. Now you may have noticed when I showed you my TBR earlier in this video, Sorcery of Thorns was actually in my pile, but actually Sorcery of Thorns wasn't in my Orilium TBR, but it was still in my TBR for April because this is one of the books I have to read for my Pluto TBR game, and it was the only book that I chose to read for my Pluto TBR game whose prompt I couldn't overlap with a prompt from Orilium. But now with these side quests and the prompt being a new to you author, I'm able to now put it in my Orilium TBR because I have never read a book by Margaret Rogerson. So it all worked out in the end. The other side quest that I decided to claim, the prompt was to read a 5-star prediction. Now because this is another book on top of my already existing TBR, I want to pick a book that is fast and easy to get through, and so obviously my mind went straight to a contemporary book. So I have 2 contemporary books here which I'm kind of deciding between of which one I want to read for this quest. The books I am choosing between are The Deal by Elle and Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. However, I am leaning towards The Deal because I believe this is more of a cutesy contemporary, and I think this is more of an emotional contemporary read, and so I feel like The Deal, because of that, is going to be a faster read. Plus, I've just heard from, reading and watching so many great reviews of these books, the off-campus series, that they're really, really fast reads, and so I'm leaning towards The Deal to read for the 5-star prediction. That's pretty much all I have to update you on. In terms of reading, I'm probably not going to start a new book anytime today because I don't really like to start a new book on the same day I finished a book. I like to let the last book that I've read linger in my mind for a bit, so I probably will start a new book tomorrow. But that's pretty much all I have to update you on today. I finished my first book for this readathon, so that's pretty exciting stuff. Hi, sweet Pluto, what you doing? Pluto loves to sleep under tables or desks. I really want to take a bookstagram photo of my TBR for Orilium. I'm not sure if I'm going to really participate in the Instagram challenge. I was very set on participating, but I was actually looking at all the little prompts and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do all that because I forgot about the Instagram challenge, and so I've had no time to prepare. But I definitely could easily do the one where I just post a picture of my Orilium TBR. So I think I'm gonna take a photo of that now. So I think I might just take a photo maybe on the table, and I might use the little Orilium booklets as like little props in the photo. Let's try that. I managed to take my bookstagram photo. This is how it turned out. Not my best work, but not too bad. I decided to just use the books for all the callings, the calling prompts for the classes, and not any of like the quests books, just like the main core TBR books, minus the short story, because the short story that I'm going to read is an ebook. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the rest of the Instagram challenge, but I might just kind of see day to day what the challenge is for that day, and if it's something I can do, I'll do it, and if it's something that I can't do, then it's fine. So I'm going to go do some other stuff now. I got to finish editing my video and a bunch of other things, so I'll probably see you tomorrow where I will start my second book of this readathon. So it is Wednesday morning and I'm getting ready to go to uni because I have class today. But before I went, I wanted to quickly update you because I didn't update you yesterday, but I did start reading a book yesterday, and the book that I started reading was Roomies by Christina. I really wanted to read a cutesy contemporary. That's what I was in the mood for yesterday. So I picked this one up and I'm already pretty much halfway through the book. I'm just a little under halfway, but I'm hoping that tonight after I come back from uni, I will be able to finish this. But in terms of my thoughts on Roomies so far, I am loving it. It is so good. I mean, I'm not surprised. Christina never lets me down. I just love their books. Very excited to finish this tonight. It's so good. But right now I have to leave to go to the train station to catch the train to get to uni. Let's go. It is really late at night and I need to go to bed right now, but before I went to sleep, I wanted to do a quick update and let you know that I just finished Roomies by Christina. It was so good. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was just great. I'm not surprised. Christina, they haven't let me down so far and I don't think they ever will. It was a really fast, quick read. It was really cutesy. I really loved our two main characters. If you have not picked up a Christina book yet, you must. It is now the next day. I know it doesn't look like it because I'm wearing the same pajamas I was wearing in the last clip. Also, a little bit of a change in scenery. I actually filmed this clip before in the blue room where I usually read. That's why I usually film in there all the time, and that's where my bookshelf is. But the lighting was really bad and it was annoying me, so now I'm in here in my room. But I wanted to update you because I'm about to start a new book. I haven't read anything yet today because today I've been helping out my sister. She runs her own business, Aussie Biz Chick. It's a subscription box and she sends out all the boxes once a month and she has to pack them herself, and usually she has a team of packing people, but they are all in ISO because of COVID. Classic. So today I was at her warehouse just helping out and helping her pack boxes and stuff like that, and so obviously I didn't have time to read while doing that. Hence why I have not read yet today, but I am about to start reading right now. So like you saw last night, I finished Roomies by Christina. This was really good, as you saw. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy all of Christina books, so I'm not surprised. I finished my second book of the readathon, and this book was for the conjuration class and it fulfilled the prompt: read a book with a source of light on the cover. This book is set in New York City and we have like a New York City skyline on the cover and all the buildings are emitting light, and so this fulfilled that prompt. For the book that I am starting tonight, I decided I wanted to read something that wasn't a contemporary, vary up my genres a bit in this readathon, so I decided my next read is going to be These Broken Stars by Amie Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I'm really excited to read this. This will actually be a reread. I first read this book book when I was about 13 or 14, and at that time it was before I used to like buy whole trilogies and just binge read them. And so I read this, really enjoyed it, but just never ended up buying the rest of the trilogy and reading it, even though I wanted to. I've always wanted to reread this and then go on with the series, and so I'm going to read it for the prompt read a book that is set in the future. I'm hoping that maybe I can get to the halfway mark on this book. I don't actually think that I will, since I'm only going to be reading for a couple hours because I want to go to bed not too late tonight, because I went to bed so late last night because I was determined to finish Roomies. Let's not dilly-dally anymore. Let's get to reading. This is going to be the last clip for this reading vlog, so of course I'm going to do a mini wrap up and show you all the books that I managed to read for Orilium week 1. The first book that I managed to complete was The Lost Book of the White by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I very much enjoyed this book. I love this world and these characters. I gave The Lost Book of the White a 4 out of 5 stars. This book is 368 pages. However, there is also a bonus story at the end of this book, and that is an extra 12 pages. The next book I managed to complete was Roomies by Christina Lauren. It was just an overall a fun, cutesy book and just a fun time. I ended up giving Roomies a 4 out of 5 stars, and this book is 355 pages. Lastly, I begun reading These Broken Stars by Amie Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm really enjoying our two main characters and their blossoming romance, although it's still in the early stages, so I'm only this far through. But I'm really excited to continue reading this and finish it over the following days. I managed to read 98 pages of These Broken Stars. So this is the total amount of pages I managed to read for Orilium week 1, and this is also the end of this reading vlog. Tune in next week to see week 2 of the Orilium Readathon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are participating in Orilium, let me know how your first week went, and I will see you next time. Bye!